Anupama Chopra is back with a bang. So now she's heading the channel The Hollywood Reporter India, and their first video, the first interview of the roundtable, whatever you call it, is epic. It's called Off Script Filmmakers Roundtable, and we have Zoya, Akhtar, Vetri Maaran, Pa, Ranjith, Karan, Johar, and Mahesh Narayanan. What a lineup. What a start to this journey. Now, it's a long one. I don't know how the reaction process will work. Will they block it? Will there be copyright issues? Thus, I'll be dividing this video into 3 parts. Also, because I don't want this reaction to become a substitute to the original video. There's a new channel. There's a first video they've uploaded. So I want more people to go there directly to watch the whole thing instead of watching the whole reaction. If you haven't seen the full interview, check it out on the Hollywood Reporter India channel. I'll put the link in the description below. So I'll upload these reactions late and one by one, but they all will be out together for the members. And if you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. Enjoy early access videos as well as some exclusive videos and song reactions. To know more, click on the join button below. So without any delay, let's go with part 1.
Like, I want Vetri Maaran to make a film for me. I chased and he just...
That'll be very, very interesting if that ever happens. But what a lovely, voices, different voices of Indian cinema. We have 2 from Tamil, we have 2 from Hindi, 1 from Malayalam. No Kannada representation, but I am sure as we go along, they'll have more. But I'm so excited. I've seen such interviews with Hollywood. I think they also have, it's from the Hollywood Reporter main thing and off script thing where they have these roundtables. It's even the set kind of matches that. But let's see what all kind of content we get from this channel, and also definitely don't forget to subscribe to them.
Welcome to Off Script with the Hollywood Reporter India. I'm your host Anupama Chopra, and we're here at the newly unveiled Grand Sangam Ballroom at the JW Marriott, Juhu, Mumbai. Cinema is a director's medium, and I'm thrilled that for the first THR India Roundtable, we've brought together 5 visionary directors from all across the country. Their storytelling has shaped Indian film. From Tamil cinema, the incomparable Vetri Maaran and Pa, Ranjith. From Hindi cinema, the game changers Karan, Johar and Zoya, Akhtar. And from Malayalam cinema, the multitasking director, writer, editor, cinematographer Mahesh Narayanan. Welcome everyone.
You could see who's giving more poses and who's just trying to be there.
So thrilled to be sitting here with some of my favorite storytellers, with some of the best storytellers in this country. And I also feel like it's a very opportune time for us to be sitting here, because as we do, history is being made. I'm speaking, of course, about the Justice Hema Committee report. And I know
interesting to start with that.
Ongoing story. There's revelations every day. There's developments every day. But I just want to get us started by asking, what do we most want to see happen now? Because we all know that it's not just the Malayalam film industry. What the rot that the report has revealed is true in varying degrees for industries across the country. There has to be massive changes in the system.
Everyone is quite serious. Don't know how to respond actually.
What do you all want to see play out? Mahesh, can we start with you?
Yeah, so I think in Malayalam cinema, after this incident which happened, we all know about that. What actually happened is a lot of female personals who working in many streams, like let it be actors, let it be ADs, let it be any professional side, they have shown the guts to come out and say against things. So I always feel that you give a person a mask, the person will tell the truth. Anonymity is very important. So that's why this commission is so important, because government had made in terms of, I should say, there is a failure from the government end, where they sat on the report for the last
nearly 5 years.
Nearly 5 years. So that should not have been done. That should be revealed before. It should come out. It should come out, and what should be required? It's about what are the next steps? It's not about a report coming up. It's not about my set. It's about our environment. How we should make that environment. So in that, more than sexual allegations, there are work conditions, treatment, how you treat women. There are many things involved in that report. So you have now it's high time actually, people in Malayalam cinema, I really think people in Malayalam cinema should come up all in solidarity, saying that okay, this is like, there is something which we have to be done. It's not about all the associations blaming each other. Like one will say that okay, it's not my problem, it's the other guy's problem. Then they will say okay, it's the government's problem. Look, who is answering? Who is answerable to all these people? So the resolution is a required part, I think. Some culmination has to be there. Like, in cinema, we write a climax, right? There should be something, like, whether it's a happy ending or a sad ending, that doesn't matter. But there should be a needed, resolution. So that's
Like
what
a
we are
closure.
But Mahesh, for the rest of you, what are the resolutions we want out of this? Like, in an ideal world, what should happen?
It's kind of a hard, like, I think Zoya can answer more of it, but it's hard for all of them to. I'm really interested to hear what they actually say, but it's hard for them as individual to actually put their words here because anything they say would be kind of different meaning, and how could you say that and this and that, like everyone has their own opinions on it, and I think most people want to keep it personal. Let things happen. Who people, there are the committee happened, that was first of all founded. Then let's see, the court will decide, justice and law will take its course. It's not really, can really comment on such, because until it's done, then you can see what all can be done, right?
I think, firstly, I think that these women need to be saluted. What they've done, the WCC, that they've come together for a colleague, they stood up and they didn't back down with with the cost of safety to themselves, impact on their careers, nothing mattered. And I hope that 5 years later, it still happened and it doesn't go to waste. I think this is not
That's
just
true.
about the Malayalam film industry. I think it's every industry and every workspace for women in this country. And this shouldn't go to waste. This should open a larger conversation. And yeah, you want things to be stringent, laws to be stringent, punishment, justice to be swift. But I think what we really need is to open a conversation as to what is wrong with certain men. And why is this pervasive, and why do people feel this entitlement? And where is that coming from? Where are you getting this entitlement that women owe you something? I think that conversation needs to happen. There needs to be a social change.
That's a society, like that's how people grow up in their homes, right? Like they see how they see how females in their families are working for them, or there to serve the men, and that's how it travels. That's patriarchy basically.
That can only happen if we talk mentality, we talk nurturing, and we talk when it's starting from education. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Karan?
absolutely right, because I completely endorse what Zoya said. It's really that, unfortunately, traditionally, we are a patriarchal, society, and there is this unfortunate male entitlement. And it's not just in the Malayalam film industry or in the Hindi film or any film industry. It's across all professions and all verticals.
Everything in
And
society.
it's like the first thing that needs to change is this sense of entitlement. What makes you feel you're superior? Who gave you that? And it actually really strangely goes down to your upbringing. It's really from the very beginning, when I was raising a son and daughter, from the very onset, I had to change the way things were said in the house. Like, don't cry like a girl. Oh, you're a boy, you can do this. You're a girl, you shouldn't. It's just the thing. And because I have twins, a boy and a girl, it's like these things I have to start ingraining from the very beginning. Because I've heard this in so many homes across the world. It's not just in India, let me tell you, it's everywhere. Male entitlement is a disease, and it's spreading, and you have to kind of curtail it with conversation and with constant addressing it. Like, I think the Me Too movement that started even in Hindi cinema, eventually I think it got derailed, and maybe because, like we were discussing prior to the table, that there weren't any legal ramifications and repercussions, and as a result of that, it just fell apart. I think with what's happening in the Malayalam film industry, this entire conversation has surfaced again. And
I think this is the first time, especially from Hindi cinema, I'm seeing someone talking about it, and that too, like such prolific, people, sitting together and discussing this at such a platform. Thanks to Anupama Chopra.
I think it's for the best because it must, because it will therefore have accountability. I feel like there are men across professions walking around doing what they want because there's no accountability. And there hasn't been any legal repercussion. And there has to be. And there are so many terrible crimes across the world in our country that are happening as a result of this entitlement. And we have to address it at a deeply rooted stage, like Zoya said. Like, it starts from education, it starts from nurturing, it starts from so much just conversation about, like, where is the superiority and why does it, this cycle has to stop eventually.
Yeah. Vetri.
So, as they all said, it is not just in the film industry.
Of course.
But as part of the industry, we need to address it. We need to talk about it. What I have sensed is when a girl comes out to say that this happened to me, immediately the victim becomes again, like, she's portrayed as the perpetrator. And then suddenly they start asking questions like, why didn't you tell then? Why are you telling after 8 years? What is the motive behind telling after 8 years? This is such a bad way of looking at things. When someone comes out and says that a guy did this to me, it could be me or anybody, then we as a society should take the side of the person who's coming up with that.
I have to say, just a side note, this is, I think, the most groomed I have seen Vetri Maaran. Because he has longer hair or curly hair and longer beard. I think last time I reacted to those long sessions BR did with him, where they saw the clips from the films and break them down. Looking good.
Position, and not just say that, okay, this guy is an established person. So far, he's been a good guy to the world. So we stand by him, we defend him. That's not the right way to do. As a society, as a world, we need to stand by the woman who comes out and says that, okay, this guy has done this to me. However big that person is, he has the responsibility to either come and defend himself or
Prove
plead
otherwise.
guilty. Plead guilty.
Yeah.
And then whatever happens should happen. So that.
This is okay. I understand what he's trying to say. I understand in many situations, in most situations, I cannot give a number to it. Things have actually happened and the women don't really have a proof. But it can happen opposite also. Like when you say that it's actually on the accused, that the accused has to prove himself not guilty, and not the person who's accusing them to prove that really happened. Like that's how law works, right? Like if you say, oh, that guy murdered someone, for example, that guy doesn't have to prove that, oh, I didn't commit murder because of this. They have to prove that he did it. That's how law actually works. Like, but see, this is a double-edged sword, right? Like something like this can also be misused, to ruin someone's reputation. The cancel culture. Someone comes out, oh, they did this, they are cancelled. And later you find out, oh, they were not guilty or whatever. And that's never becomes a news because the cancelling and all of that, it's more, dramatic and more TRP and all of that happens. So it's like, it's very hard to, really, go through this. Very murky. It's very, again, I talked in my video, right, about this, that there are no video cameras. You don't carry a camera on you, always recording you and recording everything around you. Maybe in future there'll be a time, but that's not possible. You can actually not prove everything. It's hearsay. They said it, they saw maybe something, they saw something. It's never gonna be, actually put something that actually happened to prove it. But it's just to, if you see, that's why law is blind, right? What he's saying, that if it's a woman, then the other person has to take care. Women should be, safe, that they can say anything. Then it's also wrong. That's not, fair. That's why law is blind. Nothing all matters. Only proof, only facts, come in the way to give justice. And that's where this situation becomes very hard to, deal with. It's very complicated.
Power should be with the women, and it's such a sad and hurtful thing for people to say that, why didn't you tell earlier, why didn't you tell then? Because, and also there's a
great film called She Said. It's about what happened in Hollywood in the Me Too movement and what happened before that it all started. Was the producer Harvey Weinstein. Amazing. Like if you have those questions when someone comes out, you have think why she's saying now, what's her motive, all of that. Check out that. You'll understand that side of the story also.
One more very upsetting thing is, how can it happen if she had not consented? What is consent? We need to teach them what consent is.
True.
When there is no equality, when one person is in a place where he can change the life of this girl, then where is equality? And where is consent in like consideration there? So these things should change, I feel.
Ranjith, do you think things will change? Are you hopeful?
Unfortunately, what you said, no, we are following unethical things, and we are the discrimination, and we just following in our own family, and we just accepting all things. But we need to educate. First of all, we don't have an education. Our education only treat us like we have a pride, we all pride, we have a pride things that and this then. But what we practicing literally in a family, in like a relationship, in friends and everywhere, we are we are in a hierarchy society. We believed you are high and I'm low, and this is what started for everyone. ஸோ அதுதான் இங்கே நடந்துட்டு இருக்குதான் நான் வந்து நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் இன் கேரளா ஃபிலிம் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில் இது வந்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணது வந்து ஒரு பயங்கரமான ஒரு மூமெண்ட்டாக நான் வந்து பார்க்குறேன். அந்த மூமெண்ட் வந்து ஸ்ப்ரெட் ஆகணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். இன் எனி ஃபார்ம் ஆஃப் டிஸ்கிரிமினேஷன் வந்து வி நீட் டு வாய்ஸ் அவுட். ஸோ இது வந்து ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஏன்னா இன்னைக்கு வந்து வெறும் ஃபிலிம் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில் மட்டும் இது நடக்குதா அப்படின்னா வந்து தேர் இஸ் அ பிக் கொஸ்டின் மார்க். And every work space and work space வந்து சின்னது பெருசெல்லாம் கிடையாது, லோ நாய் கிடையாது. Every work space had a lot of problems, and the women's deal every time, every day there a lot of discrimination happened, and any form of வந்து ஒரு என்ன சொல்றது ஒர்க்கிங் கிளாஸ் உமன்லேருந்து ஒரு கொஸ்டின் வருதுன்னு வச்சுங்களேன். ஆனால் இங்கே இருக்கிறவங்க யாரும் அதை கேட்குறதே கிடையாது. தேர் நாட் அட்ரஸிங் த ரைட் வே. லோ லெவல் வாய்ஸஸ் they don't care about that. And இன்னைக்கு வந்து ஃபிலிம் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி வெரி பாப்புலர் அப்படின்றப்போ வந்து யாராவது ரைஸ் பண்ணுறப்போ அது வந்து ஒரு அதோட வாய்ஸ் வந்து ஓரளவுக்கு பெரிய அளவுக்கு வந்து ஸ்ப்ரெட் அவுட் ஆகுது. பட் ஆனால் வந்து we need to care about all voice. எந்த லெவல்ல இருந்து வந்தாலுமே we need to,
because it's a film industry, there's fame associated, there's popularness associated. But what about people in your houses, people working at your place, all those, you have to, there should be equality about and not feeling entitled because you have employed someone in your house. Doesn't mean you can behave any way you want. That's also has to be talked about. It's not just about a film industry there.
care about that. We need to address about that. அதில் வந்து ஃபால்ஸ் பிரச்சனை இருக்கா இல்லைன்றது வந்து அது நெக்ஸ்ட் லெவல். ஆக்சுவலி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து we need to address இது என்ன நடந்துட்டு இருக்கு. we have to accept we are continuously following என்ன சொல்கிறது, இந்த ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணுறோம், இந்த டிஸ்கிரிமினேஷனை ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருக்கோம் நம்ம. ஸோ we have to admit, we need to admit what we are doing right now. So அதை நம்ம admit பண்ணோம்னா we trying to educate, we trying to get
You have to first accept that there is something wrong going on. If you don't accept that nothing is wrong, everything is fine, then nothing would change.
நம்ம ஓரளவுக்கு அந்த சொல்யூஷன் நோக்கி நம்ம நகரலாம் அப்படின்னு நான் நினைக்கிறேன். we can try to move on at least.
Vetri, will you translate some of that?
Yeah. See, because film industry is in the limelight, we are talking about it, but oppression against women is happening at all levels.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are shutting our ears to a working woman's problem. So from an oppressed place, a woman, she faces the same issue. When she raises her voice, it's not heard. But whatever is happening in Kerala is a good movement, which might give us a solution. And I think with that as a precedence, we can move towards better solution. And oppression is happening in all forms, starting from home, as he said. So it is happening beginning at home, and our education system is talking about your caste pride, clan pride, language pride, your region pride, but it is not educating about equality. That needs to change. So that is where it comes from. That's his thing.
Lovely.
It's really, to sum it up, it's really the way you're raising the men in this country or any part of the world. It's like that has to change. Specifically, let's address our nation. And I'm like, we just have to change the way we raise the boys and sons. It's like has to happen. It starts at that level. It just has to be that inequality that we talk about. It begins there. It begins between your girl child and boy child, and that has to change.
Well, I'm hopeful.
But I think it is changing a bit, like, because my daughter and son, they have like the way they look at, like, even like you just say one small thing, they're like, that's a sexist comment.
Yeah.
Like, my time is,
Yeah, but it's absolutely right, because
That's very true. That happens in my around me also, like, because it's also coming from unawareness. Sometimes they don't know that they are saying the wrong thing, when someone adult, and that's what they have lived their life, that's what they have seen in their life, and they thought it's a normal thing, it's okay, but you have to realize that there's a term used for someone not looking good, not dressed well. So there was a term used, and then we heard that in our childhood and all, and as we grow we realized, oh, that's actually a term for someone from a different caste, which has been associated to not looking good, and then when we learned that, we're like, oh, no using this word anymore, this is wrong, this is racist or casteist. So the small things you don't even realize it's part of your life until you even give it a thought.
I think this entire generation that is below the Gen Z generation, it's like they are beyond woke. And it's quite amazing the kind of things that come out of my 7-year-old children. Like they will look at me and just say,
Because they have
their
access,
politics are so correct and bang on, and I'm proud of that. It's amazing.
No, but also, Anu, it's very important, as all of us are in the industry, to enable work. People are scared if they speak up, they will lose work. And what we can do is hire them, enable work, make sure.
When I heard about HEMA committee, there's one thing, it happens everywhere. But the other thing that really, like, I was shocked that, people who were part of WCC, they were not given work. So, like, there were people who were, like, not giving them work because they were doing, being part of this and asking for a report and all of that. Like, no one stood up for them. No one, like, how can you do that? Like, no noise was made out of that. Like, that really surprised me.
People feel like, this is not going to be a deterrent. I can speak up and other people won't stop working with me. I think it's very key to do that, because at the end of the day, that's where you hit where it hurts, right? You ostracize someone from an industry, they don't have work. So it's a very big deterrent.
It's very true, because I often feel that this internal committee, like IC committee, that committee, who is forming the committee actually? The committee is formed internally. So committee has to be somebody who's external.
True.
There has to be a lawyer inside. There has to be a police person inside. So
my production has that committee, which is totally autonomous of the production.
Yeah.
But I think before in HEMA committee report, it said that if you have a problem, if you reach out, it's actually people from within the industry, and they have their own friends and all, like they have connections, and so it's not going to solve anything. So you need a group of people who are in charge of taking all these reports and all these complaints, whatever you call it. They should be from outside industry who are not connected to the people. They have no conflict of interest or nothing, connections of friends they want to save, and it should be outside, away from all that. So when they hear the complaint, they can actually take action or do something about it instead of hide it or put it under a rock.
Anybody can file a complaint against anybody.
Most of our offices
All of us have.
committees.
Yes.
There's accountability within your workspace.
So we need more of what all of you are already doing.
Yes.
Right? Well, hopefully we get there. I also want to get all of your takes on the current landscape, right? In the last few months, I've heard a lot of chatter about, at least in Hindi cinema, gloom and doom about the theatrical business. ki it's a sunset industry, streaming funds have dried up, no big films are being launched or made. I was speaking to Sailesh Kapoor at Omax. He said that irrespective of the bigger titles that are now going to release in the next few months, there's going to be a 10 to 20% drop for Hindi box office between 2023 and 2024. Does any of this impact on the stories that you guys are working on now? Do you pay attention to it?
Yeah, first, I think I need to clarify one thing here. It's not the theatrical box office that is failing. It is the
Budget.
inflation created by the OTT platforms that is failing now. See, like OTT.
Vetri Maaran there with his facts and then with the mic drop. Like his clarity on, I've noticed this before also, his clarity on how the system works, how the process works, both for filmmaking as well as the business aspect is amazing.
They said like during the COVID times, like, okay, for one actor film, like, one Rajinikanth film, one Vijay film, we'll give 120 crores, 100 crores, you buy, like we will make it. Then the budgets became bigger, the salaries became bigger. And within a few months, they realized that it's not sustainable for them, for the OTT platforms. Now, they're saying, okay, we can't give it that much, we can't give that much. But the production, the filmmakers have gotten used to making bigger films.
Bigger film, yeah.
And actors have gotten used to taking bigger salaries.
Yep.
What to do now?
No one's gonna go back.
So the problem is not with the again I'm coming with another reference. There's a film that was released a couple of weeks ago called Varai in Tamil, Mari Selvaraj's film.
It's a fantastic
The
film.
box office is staggering. I would call Mari Selvaraj the biggest mainstream filmmaker in Tamil cinema today, because with the new kids, like nobody known, only his name is the selling name. The kind of numbers the film has done, amazing. In box office, it has taken, the lifetime number just in Tamil Nadu is going to be 2 times more than the overall budget of the film. So box office, theatrical is there.
Yeah.
The only thing is we need to realign ourselves into going back to the same way of telling stories. Our stories within the budgets, what the people will give us. The democracy of telling our stories the way we want to tell is directly addressing the theatrical audiences and not the OTT platforms.
True.
OTT will have, OTT this year will have, okay, we're going to do like patriotic films. We will invest. This is apart from the big.
It's there. Like, I think that's what have happened with Hindi, because people are literally making films that how much the OTT will give us for it. Theatrical is bonus. That's the, the system became for budgeting a film. Okay, let's make this film. OTT will, if they make this kind of film with this actor and this genre and all, they want those kind of films and they'll give us this much money. Okay, then how will we do it? This much money you're getting, and then we'll get, okay, theatrical will be bonus, this and that, and let's just make it for them. The target audience is actually the OTT, not the audiences who are going to watch the film. And that makes so much sense. That has happened. If you notice, the kind of films have come out.
And also they have limitations.
Yes,
They'll come limitation sensor. They have one sensor
Yes,
to continue.
It's like sensitivity tests they do, like correctness, political correctness. They don't want to show beef eating scenes nowadays. And that is happening here, and there are so many limitations they come with. No, this is like this community will get offended, this religion will get offended, so please don't do it. So they are restricting. They used to be a good paymasters. When you are a big paymaster, your demand is also more. Might as well I will just stay back. Like you give me whatever least you can give. I will go to my people. Let's do democratic business. We will try to get money from there. For which we all have to recalibrate. We have to reduce our salaries by at least by 30%, 40%. You have to give up your salaries. Try to make films within the budget, and I think we are going to see a big boom and revival of theatrical
It's true.
revenue.
Really? That would be amazing.
That's very well put. But how many will do that? How many will let their salaries go? Even after flops and not, actually doing anything, still, like, actors are demanding huge, like, there are people who think otherwise. I think that's why people who actually believe in the cinema and believe in films and the craft, they'll keep just working whatever money they get. They don't care about anything else. They just love the medium and they keep going. And I think that will tell who is gonna stay long in the in the career and longer career and in this game, and who will just go away.
Adding something with them. Theaters, theater only in the democratic space,
Yeah.
not OTT. Like before, we have a problem with distributor and theater owners also. But that is only a democratic place. Compare that to OTT. OTT have a lot of limitation.
They are the private, right? Theaters are public. Public are coming. Public will give money for your film, so they'll put your movie there. If public are not coming, they'll remove your movie. They don't. Nothing else matters. In OTT, what matters is what kind of audience are targeting, marketing budget, this, that, what they want. The narrative they want to tell, what they don't want to get into, because it's on their platform. They are responsible for it. It's not like people say, oh, we are not watching it, so they can remove it. They have paid for it. They have to get more subscribers. Like, it's a different ball game altogether.
You know that the one Nayantara movie they took them out. It is it is not good. No censor give a certificate and theaters run also it's good. But the OTT and big platform they took it out. It is not good, right?
Yeah.
It's really sad, and they forced her to give a apology letter, which I am.
No, they have a limitation. They have some certain things on. They clearly said no. They the OTT they don't have a censorship. They don't want to censor, but they wanted to paper. You have to what censor date. You have to you have to give it that only we going to telecast. Otherwise we don't want to telecast. Then
like director's cut. So many directors say we'll put a director's cut on OTT, but that's not happening because they want to put out only the censored version. Like they don't want to take any responsibility of anything goes wrong. They want to get their name, into all of it. Because they're a brand, right? They want to stay away from controversies. And nowadays, you all know how much, getting offensive it become a new sport in our country.
They telecast some movie, no, they took it out from.
Yeah.
That is really bad. So,
but Mari's film, I saw it on a weekday, mid-afternoon, like a 1:40 show. More than half the hall was full. So people were there.
No, this week the film is running in, if I'm not wrong, 300 plus centers.
Wow.
Second week. First week it was 190 centers.
It's the same thing with Malayalam cinema also. Like if you look at it, it's not about big stars. Like box office opening. If you look at Manjumel Boys, if you look at
now they're doing good.
You guys have had a great year.
Sorry to interrupt. See, big star films are always there. See, they are always going to be sought after in OTTs and theaters. We are talking about the next kind of films, like the alternative films or the heroes and directors who can draw lesser audiences. That's what we're talking about.
Also, the OTT platform now started to buying small films, especially the film festival films. They say very correct words. We don't want to film festival kind of films and art house films, and we not to buy ready to buy now. We only concentrate about the big films. Like I don't know.
What about you guys? Are you seeing?
I'm just hearing everybody, and I'm like, it's not. Unfortunately, like the situation is very divisive. Like right now, what the Hindi cinema, I'm just speaking about Hindi cinema.
Yeah, okay. And I spoke about Tamil cinema.
And you'll be actually
clarifying, just,
happy to report that whether it's in Malayalam cinema and Tamil cinema, the audience base is wider for very, 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 very diverse content. And there you can have a director that will take newcomers, and there will be a massive opening on the face of the film and just on the theatrical trailer and the director's repertoire of work. Hindi cinema is going through a massive situation. We must talk about it.
Yeah.
So guys, here we'll end the part 1 of this reaction. If you want to see part 2 here, check it out. If you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a member, and I will see you next time.